Okay, so hopefully this is working and you are hearing me. If you are, I think just one person is there in the big blue button. If you can, if you are able to hear me and you can see the announcement screen on YouTube, could you please verify for the one person that is watching currently? So I just want to make sure the link is working. All right, thanks, Jared. Okay, so just for the one person that is here now, but for others that are watching later, the exam has been moved to Friday, if you weren't aware of that, and that will cover chapters 5 through 8. So what we're covering today and on Wednesday will not be on the exam, but we will be looking at chapter 9b for Wednesday. So if things are working, just let me know. If you have issues, just let me know. So I have the big blue button on my other screen here so that if you have questions, those will pop up. If you're trying to use YouTube, I won't be able to see that because I'm on a different computer and that's just the one screen. So we're going to look at a couple of things here. So for the recap, we have ketones and aldehydes, and we've seen those previously. They have carbon double bond oxygen. The aldehyde has the hydrogen here. Ketone has the R and then the R prime. So there's two carbons that are flanking that carbonyl. The properties that we'll see for carbonyls and aldehydes are that they are electrophilic. So if we draw the dipole arrows, the oxygen is partially negative. The carbon is partially positive, which makes that carbon electrophilic, and that is the same for those. So these are electrophiles. They're also going to be polar because of that property where there's the C double bond O there. When we're naming aldehydes, we want to look for the longest carbon chain, which has to include the aldehyde. And the aldehyde carbon is always going to be C1. So this is our C1. Even though the carbon going across here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons, this carbon chain needs to include the aldehyde. So our carbon chain will be 1, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5. So the aldehyde cannot be in a ring. If it is, that would be considered a ketone. And the parent name we would use for the longest carbon chain, this is pentane. We drop the E and end it in al. So the name for this one will be 3-bromo-2-ethyl pentanal. So that's how we would name aldehydes. Again, that aldehyde carbon is always going to be number 1, and we cannot have it in the ring. So if you had this ring, this would not be an aldehyde, that would be considered a ketone. When we're naming ketones, we want to include the longest carbon chain. The CO is going to get the lowest numbering. So if I number in this direction, the carbonyl is going to be at carbon number 3, whereas if I numbered it in the other direction, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be at the 5 carbon. So we want to make sure it's at the lowest numbering. If the ketone's in a ring, that's going to be number 1, or this is 1-cyclohexanone. And this one here will be 4,4-dimethyl. We have 2 methyl groups at 4, and then 3-heptanone. All right, so the picture is not centered. What are you seeing on the screen? Is it not a full screen of the this? So the question is, the picture isn't centered in YouTube. Let me see if I can copy this quick here. Thank you for your patience during this time. Okay, I do see this. of me. All right, I'm going to try something else here to see if I can get it cut off. It's on a full screen on my display, but I don't know why it's cutting it off in the live screen here. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to disconnect for a second, but I'll be back shortly. I'm going to see if I can change the setting. So I'll try something real quick and then I'll be back. If not, if at worst, we can try the big blue button screen sharing on that one. But I'll try this one more other thing here so that we're not relying on Moodle. So I'll be back momentarily, sorry.